Alright, patch 11.2 released, and we're currently in M0 week as the date of this recording. And yeah, you might run out of content if you are not playing like 22 different ores like Echo does or something. And yeah, then you might look for something to do if you like challenging content. Voidrazor Sanctuary is something for you, probably. But you will probably struggle with it. But it's doable. It's doable in the very first week. And if you are determined to do it, you can do it. And this guide basically serves you to not make it brain dead, but to make it a bit more consistent. Because there are certain things that you can do to make your proc a bit smoother. Let's say that. Like, there are certain things certain ways you can handle the mechanics, let's say that. And I try to explain this in this video. There are basically 4 mechanics only in this fight, which are on paper very simple, but they're like really fucking fast. And yeah, let's just go step by step through it and see. So it starts off with the Nexus daggers. This is just a very fast mechanic that you have to dodge. And the most important thing here to pay attention to is to just not panic. So you might want to, oh no, so much mechanic vomit here, and you might want to dodge out really quick with a GCD or something. But that's actually a death sentence, because more often than not, you will just die because your animation locked, or while you leap out, or whatever movement ability you use, you get clipped by this. So what you rather should do is, like I here do, stay in melee, have your camera top down, and look for the safe spot, and only slightly adjust into the safe spot. And yeah, most importantly, don't panic. And then you're more safe than doing big dodges, and you also get more uptime. Yeah. This works on any class, by the way. It's a bit harder on casters, where you have to cast. That's a bit annoying, I could imagine. So second mechanic is Nexus Rift. This is a very easy mechanic to execute. And as tank, it's completely free. As DPS, you have to be careful with your HP, because this part of the fight is the most damage heavy one, I would say. So depending on your class, you have to really look out how you can lift this each time. It happens multiple times in the fight. Like basically every mechanic repeats. Like it does the 4 mechanics, sometimes repeats one of them, and then yeah, it cycles. Yeah, you just place the thing here so that they're like triangle shaped, and then they will pull, like each one of those will pull you, and if you do it correctly, you will just stay in the middle. It's also the perfect time to focus on DPS. Like, this is the most easy part to, like, most mechanically easy part. So you don't really have to focus on the mechanic itself. You can just focus on your rotation and pump out as much damage as you can. Then the next part is probably the mechanic that most people will struggle with doing proc. Yeah, this is the hardest mechanic mechanically, I would say. So Dark Massacre. Let me go rewind a bit. So here you see a clone will spawn. You have to be already aware that a clone will spawn. Look out for it. So what it does is it spawns, and then it will shoot this red, like it will aim at you and with the red indicator, and you have to look at it. It will do this in total 6 times. So you have to each time look out, like look at them basically. So what I personally found the best way to handle this is I'm already aware that this mechanic is about to happen. I look out where it will spawn. Then I face my camera to the first clone. I already look where the next 2 clones spawn. Okay, I know here, here, and here. There we go. Alright. Quick fixed. Okay. Now you can see my mouse cursor. Sorry about that. So, let me start again over. So you see 3 clones. First one spawns here. I already face towards it. And I already read where the next 2 clones are spawning. And I already know they're here and here. So let me go slow-mo. This will be much faster. So you have to be able to read them quickly and keep up. But most importantly, don't panic. Because if you panic, you will shake and then you will die. Why you will die, let me explain in a bit. But yeah. So you face towards them. Then you face to the second. And the third. And while this happens, I look out. Like I see the third one, I face towards it, and I see this one is the next one because it's like dark bluish already, right? That's when it, you know, it's about to go dash when it's like turning darker. Like light blue is fresh, it's about to spawn, dark is about to go off, basically. So I already know I face here, then I face here, and then I face here, and yeah, that is slow-mo. So you only care about reading the first 3 and nothing else. And then while you do the first 3, you read them as you go along, the last 3. Let me rewind again. Let me do it in full speed and just go along. Okay, spawning. 1, 2, 3. I see here. Bang. Bang. And that's it. Yeah. You will die a lot to this, but I hope this like thought process makes it a bit easier for you, a bit more consistent. Because there are a lot of ways to fuck it up. What I also didn't mention is I sometimes, like most of the time, I completely drop GCDs during that. If you're like a god gamer, sure you can keep damaging during this. It's possible. I've seen it from other people. But you will clear just fine if you also drop GCDs. And it will make proc way more consistent in my opinion. So better have more consistent pulls rather than greeding and then dying to this mechanic all the time. You can greed a few GCDs sometimes. Sometimes I hit a few buttons. But if it's like a really scuffed pattern because they can spawn really awkwardly sometimes, I just drop everything and I don't care. Like better survive than failing this, especially when you're deep into the fight. Yeah, but that will be your biggest fall. If you can get consistent at that, you are already, I would say, 80%, 70 to 80% towards clearing. You just have to be able to do it every time it happens. Yeah, then again, the dodges, you just do the same thing. Stay in melee or whatever, wherever you are. Don't move too much, just try to do minimal dodges. Then the same mechanic here, this will hurt on DPS. And then it repeats with the dashes again. Dark Massacre. Be the first 3 and then the last 3. This was a really easy pattern. Then daggers again, and I think then the next mechanic, Invoke the Shadows. Yeah, that is our 4th mechanic, which is a little bit of a breather. Like, for me, it was really easy. I can see how people might struggle with it. But it's just keeping track of the clones. So basically, she spawns 5 clones and 1 gap, and that's where she will go to. So that's the real one. She also says which is real. And you just have to keep track of her and then click her. So I saw some people like mouse over with the cursor and just follow it with the cursor. I didn't do that personally. I just looked at her the entire time. I was pretty easy. I think most people shouldn't have problems with this. You just keep track of her and then click. There's no real strategy or min-max you can do here. And then it just repeats. Like every time this happens, it's basically a full reset of the cycle. So now it would be the same as if the fight started. So every time this happens, you can take a breather, basically, and focus on as if the fight starts again. Especially later in the fight, just play it like the fight starts and you should be fine. Yeah, let's go it through the cycle one more time, and then I would say it's alright. Again. Ah, yeah. I'm wrong. Wait. Oh no, I'm not wrong. Yeah, it's just a normal cycle repeat. Then other things, yeah. And Dark Massacre again. You look at the 1, 2, 3, and then 1, 2, 3. That's about it. Skip ahead. Basically the same thing, the entire fight. You just have to learn this mechanic. And then the dagger dodges can also be a bit frustrating at times. Especially when you deproc sometimes. But yeah. Most important thing is to keep calm. And then you will get it. As for which classes to do on, if you have options, I would recommend all tanks. Basically the same. On Paladin, you can cheese this mechanic. You can bubble first, and Spellboard I think also works. So yeah, you don't have to do it as much, but you still have to do it at some point. So in my opinion, Paladin is not good when it comes to learning the actual mechanic. And then when you have to do it deep into the fight and you don't have bubble or spellward, well then, yeah, you have to be able to do it. I don't know. In my opinion, it's better to do it without Paladin, or, well, because then you have to actually do the mechanic early on a lot of times, and then by the time you're deep into the fight, proccing and trying to kill it, you have done it so much, you're so good at it, that it's more unlikely to fail at it. Let's say that. But yeah, Paladin, you have to do it less overall. So that's an option you can take. But all tanks are pretty much equal, I would say. There's not much damage for tanks specifically, so you can play any tank. Yeah. As for DPS, the most tanky DPS will be the best. If you have the most tools to survive the suck mechanic, you might be good off. But right now, as of week 1, DPS are really hard in general. Like any DPS spec is really hard because of the damage. Like you 100% need heal up run. There's no other way around it. And yeah, you need ways to survive. But if you can live, then it's basically the same as tank. Yeah. That's about it. And healers, I don't even know if healers doable. Maybe it is. You could try. I mean, why not? But as for tier list, I would put S tier, all tanks, and then from tanky to least tanky DPS, and then healer is question mark tier. I don't know. But yeah, that's about it. If you have any questions, I don't know, then write in the comments, give a like, subscribe for more content this season. I will play a lot of High and Plus, Mythic Raid, also not sub to my Twitch, follow me on Twitch. All in the description, of course. And see you guys.